In this video, we are going to discuss about the causality of an LTI system. So what is meant by causality? We have already learned that if a system depends only on its present or past values to get the output, then such systems are known as causal systems. So causal systems are non-anticipative. That means future inputs are not required to get the output at this moment. For any system, if the future values are also required to get the output at this moment, such systems are known as non-causal systems. Now let us check how impulse response of an LTI system is depending on this causality property. So let us go into the video and check what is the impulse response of a system which is causal in nature.
Let us analyze the causality of an LTI system. So we have the convolution sum equation. So this is nothing but our convolution sum equation, right? Convolution sum equation. So that is given by y of n is equal to h of m into x of n minus m. So you may have a confusion how I can write this equation, because this equation is written in this way using the commutative property. Commutative property. So what the commutative property says? You can interchange the signals h of m and x of n in the summation, so that does not change the result of the summation. So you have to note that the range of summation is from minus infinity to plus infinity. So for explaining this causality, I am just separating them into two terms. What are they? How can I do that? I can just change the range of summation from minus infinity to minus 1 for one term, that is h of m into x of n minus 1. Same term, the inside terms are not changing, only the summation is changing. Next term is from m is equal to 0 to infinity h of m into x of n minus 1. So I am just separating the summation which is from minus infinity to plus infinity into two different terms. One is from minus infinity to minus 1 and another one is from 0 to infinity. Now I am trying to expand these terms. Y of n is equal to, there are so many terms because I am starting from minus infinity, then I am reaching to 0, so I am writing h of minus 2 into x of n plus 2. So you may have a confusion how it comes the x of n plus 2, because our equation is x of n minus m and m is minus 2 here. So if I substitute, it is h of minus 2 into x of n minus 2, right? So the h of x of n minus 2 will result in h of minus 2 into x of n plus 2. Similarly, this term will be h of minus 1 into x of n plus 1. So this is the expansion of the first terms. Now coming to the expansion of the second term, it will be given like this. How it is? H of 0 into x of n. Why? Because the summation starts from 0. Next one is h of 1 into x of n minus 1, because m is plus 1 here, right? So if I substitute n minus 1, right? Now next term is h of 2 into x of n minus 2, and it continues up to infinity. So this is how I expand this. Now what is meant by causality? Causal systems are non-anticipative system. What is my non-anticipative system? It does not depend on the future values. The system, any time dependent system, cannot predict what may come in the future, right? So it is independent of the future inputs, right? So there should not be any terms in the output which is depending on the future inputs, right? So for that, we can see that this is a future term, x of n plus 2. This is another future term, x of n plus 1. So all these future terms must be equal to 0. These terms must be equal to 0. For that, we can clearly see that these terms, h of minus 2, h of minus 1, h of minus 3, h of minus 4, everything to the left of this equation must be equal to 0. Then only this x of n plus 1, x of n plus 2, etc. will become equal to 0. So what is the condition? We can say that h of n must be equal to 0 for n less than 0. Otherwise, we can say that the impulse response must have values only in the positive axis like this, right? So the impulse response can have values in the positive axis like this, and it should not have any value in the negative axis of time, right? So in such cases, the system is a causal system. So it can have values like h of 0, h of 1, h of 2. This is h of 0, h of 1, h of 2, h of 3, h of 4. All these values are acceptable, but it should not have any values in the negative time axis, negative indexes of the time, right? Like such kind of systems are known as causal systems. Now let us check what happens if there is a value. What happens if there is a value in the negative time axis? For that, I am taking an impulse response which is looking like this, right? So this is an impulse response, sample impulse response, which is looking like this, and assume that I have an impulse response value which is in the negative axis, which is, so this is our h of m, right? Now what I have to do for convolution, I have to inverse it, right? So how to draw the h of minus m? Just flip it horizontally, so how can I flip it horizontally? So I have to draw with respect to the vertical axis. So the terms at the right side will come to the left side, and the terms in the left side will go to the right side, right? So my impulse response, inverted impulse response, will look like this. Now assume that I have another input like this, right? I have an input like this. Maybe it is increasing like this. This is my input, right? So what I have to do now? I have to do n minus m. For different values of n, I have to shift to the right or left. That is what we are performing in the convolution sum. Now assume that n is equal to minus 1. N is equal to minus 1, right? So when n is equal to minus 1, how the signal will look like? The signal will look like this, sir. So this will come to minus 1, this will come to minus 1, this will go to minus 2, this will go to minus 2, again this will come to minus 1, and so this is minus 1, this is minus 2, this is minus 3, this is minus 4, right? There is a problem now. What is the problem? That this term will come to the 0th time index. This term will come to the 0th time index, and it will try to multiply with the input. That means when n is equal to minus 1, right? Minus 1, assume that it is 11 o'clock, right? Our h of n requires x of n at n is equal to 0. Let us assume that is 12 o'clock. So when our time is 11 o'clock, that is n is equal to minus 1, our impulse response is trying to multiply with an input which will occur in the future, that is at n is equal to 0, that is at 12 o'clock, right? So this make the system non-causal, because we need the future values. Now the impulse response need to multiply with x of n for n is equal to 0. That is not possible, because it is like predicting the future value. We are at n is equal to minus 1. We are at n is equal to minus 1. Time is minus 1, but we need the value of input at time is equal to 0. So this make the system anticipative, predicting system, and this make the system non-causal system. So that is the basic idea, right? So how can we conclude? For causality, we can say that in the case of a continuous time system, the impulse response h of t minus tau, which is multiplied with x of t, there should not be any values in the impulse response for tau greater than t. Similarly, in the case of a discrete time case, the impulse response h of n minus m that multiply with x of n must be 0 for m greater than n. So that is what I have tried to explain using the example. So in such cases, the system is known as a causal system. So this is the basic idea of the causality of an LTI system.
I hope you got a clear idea about the causality of an LTI system and its relationship with the impulse response.